Alrighty, what's up, miss? How are you doing today?
I am very nervous. But
Why are you
hello.
nervous?
Well, first of all, my name is Demi Fujino, if anyone's wondering.
Oh yeah, this is Demi. Demi's one of my best friends since high school, right?
Yeah, but wasn't it like more community college when we came like
Super tight.
Yeah, super tight.
Hold up, let me get. Yeah. How did we get super close in community college? Did we just have similar classes?
I think we had similar classes, similar friends, and I was not as introverted as I was in high school.
Yeah, you're pretty introverted in high school.
Yeah.
Like,
so
how do you think? Did you like try to like, I guess like become more out there? Demi drank just like this whole cocktail like one sitting. I think
I need it. I'm a little nervous, to be honest.
All good. Just deep breaths. No, because like that transition between like high school, community college, like I feel like you're just like a totally different person, and especially even now. Like, how do you think you, I guess, like became more extroverted or just like more out there?
Well, the first year at community college, I definitely was pretty similar to when I was in high school, but I think something changed, like my mental state changed. I think I was very, like teenagers, very like sad, angsty, like teenager. That's kind of who I was, I think. And then second year at community college, I realized, I don't know, I just had like a little flip in my brain where I wanted to have friends and I wanted
just to like go out there
to be
and
more social,
meet
yeah.
more people, and you just kind of just like transitioned, became like, I guess, like more outgoing.
I would say so. I mean, I'm still not like super outgoing, but definitely better. Like,
it's weird for I guess like friendships from high school. Like, there's a lot of people out there who I guess don't have a lot of friends from high school still, and some of my best friends are all from high school. Like, I don't even think I have too many like, I guess, college friends. I mean, like some, but like all my super close friends are from high school, and I don't know that's how like we grow up or anything like that. Like, do you still have a lot of like high school friends mostly, or did you meet a lot of like, I guess, like in your college career?
I mean, I definitely met a few people in college that it was a very different type of friendship than the friendship I still have with my high school friends.
Sure. Just go ahead, bring it closer to you.
Okay, but I think
There you go. You're good.
I think it was social media, and that has really played a part in kind of keeping connected to people in high school personally,
for sure.
versus like when our parents were in high school. Like, once you're done with high school and you go to college, like, you don't even hear about half of those people. So I think that's why I kept a lot of high school friendships, to be honest.
It's weird how I guess like media these days has just like allowed us to stay connected like in a larger scale rather than like we were born 20 years ago. You're just like, oh, I don't know anything about them, and like we're over here like, damn, this guy's having a kid, this person's having a kid.
Yeah.
Like, how are these people doing? And it's cool to like I guess know, and so how was it growing up in Fresno? I mean, we both came from the same hometown and we're both in LA right now, right? Yeah, how was that? What did it do for you? You think it was good, bad, beneficial?
For what it was, I would say it was a good experience.
How so?
A childhood in Fresno is very homey. You have a lot of stability. You have good schools. It's quieter. It's a quieter life and maybe more of a simple life. And I think growing up, I felt comfortable in the community I was in to kind of, do what I wanted and hang out with people I wanted. It wasn't like LA where it's huge and you're like a little fishy, in like the huge pond, like everyone says.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Fresno, like a lot of people think of California as this big sunny state in terms of just like, I'm going to California, there's ocean there, it's beautiful, it's sunny and 75 all the time. I mean, that's like LA, San Diego, down south, but like we grew up in a town that's like very like farm town, like small town vibes, and like I benefited a lot from it. I feel like you learn certain things that I don't know, different qualities of way of life, and just like, and it is a lot more simpler, and you're not worried about as much, so like I think I benefited in that way, and like having those same, I guess, like that simple life structure and morals and like certain things, like in terms of like living in a house. Like a lot of people in LA, even like growing up, like adults mostly have like condos or apartments out here and stuff like that. Can you imagine like growing up in a apartment complex with like, and you're paying, what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you're paying so much money. Yeah, I don't I don't know, like if I had started in Fresno and then I moved, I would feel that shock completely. Like, oh my gosh, I had this huge house in Fresno that wasn't that expensive. And then I came and I'm living in a condo with three siblings, you know, together, and then my two parents. Like, that would be crazy.
Sure.
Yeah. So definitely I think it would have been a bit of a shock if that happened.
So you went to college in Santa Barbara, right?
Oh, yes, I did, sir.
Were you? Santa Barbara's like known as like a party school. Did you party it up? Did you have a good time?
I had a little good of a time, yeah.
Yeah. We both went to community college, so we previously talked about that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, community college did like wonders for me in terms of like saving money, in terms of finding out what I wanted to do. And a lot of people, how we grew up, like talked really down on community college. Like how do you feel about community college, and like what did it do for you?
Yeah, I remember in like senior year of high school when we would have like assemblies or rallies, people would chant things like Willows That Way, which was the community college we went to, kind of like downgrading the people that went to community college. But I think that as college is becoming so competitive, so expensive, and I don't think most people in this world have the resources to go to a great college their first time around. That's just kind of the thing. That
Unless
was my
you get like
case,
scholarships or anything like that too. I mean, college, I guess community college for me in terms of like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Did you? Like at the time, like when you first got in?
I changed my major like 4 times, so no.
Yeah, I changed mine like 3. So like, I feel like not knowing what you wanted to do, if you grow up and you know, like, I don't know, you're putting together like cars and stuff, and you know you want to be an engineer and all this stuff, and you're really good at it growing up, and you know like this is what you want to do, you apply for all the right scholarships, like 4 years great. Like I feel like community college is very important for people who don't know what they want to do, and gives them like that 2-year gap to like figure it out and then decide, and then also save money and everything like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have friends that went 4 years at UCSB, and I'm sure you had friends that went to UCLA 4 years, and you know, a lot of them are like, I want to move to Australia, but I can't because I have $60,000 in loans that I still have to pay off, and I just have my first job that's only paying me like $60,000 a year.
If that,
yeah, that's really hard.
Isn't
to get
that wild how like college is just so expensive, and like per year, and like the usually first year out of the gate, like, oh yeah, you're only making $50K a year, man.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Some people are making 40, some are making 30, some aren't even making like any money.
Yeah.
Some are unemployed. Hello.
So how was Santa Barbara for you? Like, I guess coming from Fresno and living at home the whole time, and then I guess like being like independent and on your own, like how's that experience?
I feel like it was honestly some of the best years of my life, as many people would probably say about college, but I don't think it was for the reasons of partying and, you know, like being independent and like just like, you know, hanging out with a bunch of people all the time. It was more like I did the little mundane things like going to the grocery store and paying for my own groceries, getting my own gas, and you start to appreciate, I don't know if you agree, the little things that your parents used to do for you that you completely took for granted. Yeah. And I loved the independence. I really did.
Why? Why do you think that is? Because like a lot of people would say like, oh, like my mom used to cook me food all the time. That was nice. Like I wish that I kind of want that back. Versus like you're like, oh yeah, I'm happy I'm buying my own gas. I'm happy like I get to cook my own shit. Like that's kind of counterintuitive. Why do you think you get so much joy from that?
I feel like we're going to take a little turn here. Sorry guys. But I think it has to do with my mom and dad's relationship. I love them. They're amazing. But in my personal opinion, without getting a little too personal, is that I don't think it's like an equal playing field in their situation.
Okay.
I don't think that they support each other at the same level. Like a spouse, like a couple should be equal in independence and power and bringing in income. And I don't see that. And I think growing up around that made me really determined to say, I do not need a husband if I don't, you know, if I don't find one. I do not need someone else's money. I don't need a sugar daddy or whatever people want these days. I can do it on my own. So I think that's why I crave independence.
That's super admirable. Because like there's a lot of like people out there who I guess have that mentality of like, oh, I want to settle down with a husband or a wife who can I guess like if you're a guy, like, oh, like I want a girl who could cook for me all the time and like provide in that sense. And if you're a girl, like, again, especially in LA, you're like, I want some man that could support me and like take me out and like all this stuff. And it's super cool, especially like I guess nowadays, like it's getting more equal playing ground with in terms of like equality for like I guess men and women or just like anyone in general. And yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we need to talk about it more. Women are bosses, men are bosses. We should be equal in that, in my opinion.
No, for
Everyone's
sure.
different though.
No, for sure. What do you call it? So what did you study at Santa Barbara?
I studied psychology, the mind. Yes.
Well,
Very
why
interesting.
did you want to do that? Because I'm super into I guess I like the idea of psychology. I don't know like too much about like the study of it in terms of like a college aspect. Like what is it? Like what did you learn? Why are you so interested in like the mind and like how it works?
I think that psychology at first was, I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I like science, but I also kind of like the social aspect. So let's go with a social science as a major. And it can, be used for multiple different things. And I think that was my first initially going in. That's kind of what I thought. But then as I started learning about the classes, you start connecting little things when when you know the scientific facts or studies about
Give me
the
an
mind.
example.
Let's see. Like, for example, we'll branch into this later, but I've been taking a few classes post-grad at a community college, Santa Monica. And it was so exciting how to connect some old information that I learned about in psychology and some studies about people's brains and how they work. And then I was in physiology and I got so excited and I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, oh my gosh, I know how like the cellular respiration in the body works and I can just like glue these pieces together. And then sometimes I diagnose myself. Am I right? Not sure. But like I feel smarter and I like it.
Yeah, I feel like you could get in your head in terms of like I feel like I have no clue in terms of like the scientific aspect about like those topics.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I'm like oblivious to it, and you're over here like analyzing. I feel like you observe a lot more because like you understand the science behind it. You're like, there's a reasoning for that person thinking it that way. There's a reason for that action over there, and I feel like you're like, that's super cool. I learned about that. I'm putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe I understand why people act differently. If someone's a little off-putting to me, I don't instantly say, oh, like I don't like them.
Sure.
Because I understand that, there might be underlying conditions.
Yeah.
That they might have Asperger's, autism. You never know. Maybe some trauma in their life, in their past, that all affects their current state. So to me, I think it's kept me a little more open-minded, a little more nice, don't judge that book.
No,
just
that's
by
awesome.
its cover.
That's
Read
awesome.
the first few pages.
From I guess your experience, like I guess mental health in that aspect, like those diseases and everything like that. Is it just a disease? Like, does it happen to a person, or are there like certain aspects that cause those diseases? Like in terms of like, does your diet, does your exercise, I don't know. So I'm asking like those things like add or like subtract from like having those diseases, or does it just like happen to a person?
There's always a genetic component to it.
Okay.
But situations, kind of like if you think about nature or nurture, that situation, it plays
Can you explain
such a big factor.
Can you explain nature and nurture?
Yeah. So basically, like nature, what your biological makeup is, and how you are pre-programmed to nurture is, what town you lived in, who you surrounded yourself with.
That's nurture.
Yes.
Okay. And nature's what?
Nature is like the chemical makeup, kind of like the already made, like our DNA.
Okay.
How we kind of mixed it together. Okay. It already gave us maybe like an athletic ability or something like
Okay.
that.
And nurture could be like how you were raised, the family life. Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So,
Continue.
Yeah. So I think it's amazing.
Continue. What were we talking about? I was talking about like how you observe other people and like making the connections through what you've studied. And yeah, okay, we can continue.
Anyways, guys.
So what do you want to do right now in terms of, you want to be a PA, right?
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry.
A PA is a physician's assistant.
Physician assistant.
So is that
yes.
basically kind of like a doctor?
Yes, I like to call it the mini doctor. By no means is the job mini. But
Why do you want to be a physician's assistant? Were you like one day you just woke up, you're like, this sounds really, really cool?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to be a dermatologist probably as long as middle school. 14.
Really? Like skin?
Yes.
Skin
Skin
doctor?
doctor all the way.
Why?
Wanted to do that.
That's kind of disgusting. I'm kidding. Not really. I don't know. You have to deal with like weird skin allergies and like touching people's skin.
But you have gloves. You have aseptic techniques. Like,
Okay. So why don't you want to be a dermatologist anymore then?
It's not that I wouldn't be a dermatologist. I definitely think I would really enjoy that job. But unfortunately, I do have some learning disabilities. And medical school, even for someone without learning disabilities, is a tough ride. That, along with mental health and priorities of, wanting to have a balanced life. A lot of doctors do not have a balanced life. They usually do a lot of working.
Yeah.
I have people in my family that are very dedicated to their medical professions, and that's great. But I really would love to travel and experience other things too.
Yeah. What mental disabilities? You said dyslexia, correct?
Yes, I have dyslexia.
So what is dyslexia?
It kind of varies per person. I would consider mine much more mild.
Yeah.
My mom has dyslexia, very hardcore. Mine is kind of mild. It's kind of to do with, my version of it is to do with comprehension of words and letters. It varies for different people.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I know of dyslexia is like, what's that? I don't know, Percy Jackson, those movies and books, like with the, I don't know, Greek gods or whatever. It's like they're like half-bloods or whatever, and they see like words and they like are like floating and they don't know what they mean. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but that's not my dyslexia.
Okay, so but it sounds like that it's like similar though in terms of just like you, is it that you can't like, I don't know.
For me, it started out with not being able to read at a very young age. I couldn't comprehend, keep words in my mind. I remember breaking down when I was like 7 years old because someone asked me to write my name on a piece of paper.
And you couldn't do it?
I couldn't do it. And as a 7-year-old, I was so embarrassed. They probably didn't think anything of it.
Sure.
But I was like, I'm 7. How do I not know how to write my own name?
Yeah.
But
how was it dealing with it growing up? Because I feel like that can affect like not just like you as a person, but you socially in terms of like friend groups and everything like that.
I feel like I don't really talk about this, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've become more open to talking. I, for the longest time, have been extremely ashamed of my learning disability. Super uncomfortable talking about it. Also stemming due to the fact that I went from being homeschooled into regular school, but my parents decided to put me back a grade. So I was technically a year older than all my classmates.
Yeah, Demi every year never really talks about her birthday and stuff. She's like, I don't want people to know how old I am.
Now it's better. We're adults. It's gotten a lot better, but
I don't know. I feel like a kid sometimes. Continue.
Me too. But it was during elementary school. Little kids are vicious. They don't understand. So they will ask you questions. Are you dumb? Is there a reason why you're older than us? Like, are you stupid? Why do you go to the trailer? The trailer was where I got special help, special aid for my learning disability.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was honestly very traumatizing, and I feel like I associated my age and being in a different grade too as being dumb. Therefore, I did not like to share my age, because then we would get into the whole situation of, why are you that age? Why are you in this grade? So that was
I guess
rough.
and now that you've like gone through that experience and like, or I guess a grown ass woman now, and like I guess to like deal with that, what do you have to say to like, I guess like, I don't know, some kids like you out there who are experiencing dyslexia and like they are experiencing those like questions of like, are you dumb? Like those like hard questions that like suck, and like I don't know, what advice would you give, I guess, like your 7-year-old, 8-year-old self in that position? Because like you've gone through it now, you know kind of like how to navigate those waters, you know.
Oh, that's a good one. So I would say to my former self or anyone that's listening and struggling with kind of maybe similar situations as me is that I struggle every day with, you know, thinking, am I smart enough? Am I good enough? Did I, you know, am I good enough for anything, you know? But I think then you need to take a step back, look at how far you've come, you know, look at where I made it through college. I'm planning to go to PA school. You know, I am intellectual, and you need to realize that just because you have a learning disability, that does not mean you're dumb.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It might mean you need a little extra time, but you can get it the same as everyone else.
Yeah, but there's a lot of kids out there who like aren't, I guess, self-aware enough to understand that.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just like, they identify as like, I am dumb, I will never get to that way, and like they could just stay in that spot for a very long time.
Well, maybe, I know this is hard as a young kid, but even for parents listening or older siblings listening, get that individual help. Even if they're like, no, I don't want to go to the trailer and see a special person. It helps so much.
Yeah,
you know, really use that extra help. If you got extra time on a test, use the extra time on a test.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was always like, I always sucked at SAT testing and all that. And I never finished that shit. And I was like, damn, like I low-key wish I'm jealous of them right now. I want some time. And in Demi's defense, like she got very, very good grades in high school as well as community college. And she worked very, very hard on, like, we had a lot of math classes and everything. I was like, but Demi put in, I mean, objectively, way more time and energy than I
spill
did.
the tea on how much you study, Nate.
I studied a lot. Not as much as you, but I studied a lot.
Okay, him and our other friend would grind last minute, just like put in all effort, 100% the day before, get such good grades.
It'd be like 10 hours though, like 10 hours.
In one day?
Yeah.
I would have a mental breakdown and die.
Yeah, but Demi's super prepared. She writes lists and everything. I feel like you are very good at, like, you know your weaknesses and like, therefore you capitalize on everything that you can, like, are in control of.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
And I mean, that's super admirable. Like, you're very self-aware of that. And like, you're like, oh, because of my mental disability and all these other things, this is where I want to go. And I have to do it a different way than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay because everyone has a different route to get to where they want to go.
Yeah. So why ultimately do you want to be a PA? Like, if you had to summarize it, you're like, I want to be a PA because fill in the blank.
Okay. Being a PA means, in my opinion, a little more flexibility, leniency. I do not have to go through the medical school process. I only have to go to 2 to 3 years.
Shmoney's pretty good too.
Yeah, shmoney's good. But also, I would love to help people in some way. You can switch professions. You have kind of like a overarching, like if you want to be a dermatology PA or a pediatric PA, you can kind of study to be that. But if you get tired of it, you could be like, you know what, I want to go to neuroscience. And guess what? You're there.
Can go there. Yeah, I feel like you're interested in a lot of topics in terms of in the science field. And you talk very passionately in the last couple of years that I've known you in terms of like, oh, I'm interested in all these things. I don't know what to do. But like, I didn't know that you could switch into PA, like different things, like things like that. Like, that's super awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a little bit of work, but it's definitely not like I have to go back to school for a ton of years and get a new job.
And I feel like you're super kind and stuff in the sense of like, is it ultimately like, I want to help people and this is, I think, the channel that I want to help them through?
I think to a certain extent, I don't want to stick with just one job my whole life. I want to do a bunch of things, but I think that would be a job I'd really enjoy. I could help people, but I could also use the income I'm making to explore other interests.
Yeah. Like what? Baking? What did you want to do? You want to start like an Instagram page on baking, right?
I have so many different things. It's so hard to decide.
Baking's one of them, right?
Oh, I love baking.
Yeah. Me and Demi, we have a picture. I think me, you, and Katie. When did we bake that? We made berry pies, and like I'm a big pie guy. It was probably the best pie I've ever had. And Demi's had like all the flour, all the ingredients out, and I was like, damn, this is what's up.
He also, when I said put squeeze a lemon into the pie. He put the whole lemon in, like skin and all. It was cute.
Did I do that?
You did.
No,
you
I
did.
didn't.
No, you did.
I don't remember.
I remember distinctly. It was cute. No, it's
I'm
fine.
not a baker, guys. Demi's spilling all the tea.
You have to. It's a podcast, guys.
So what else are you interested in?
I would like to real estate properties. I'd love to buy an apartment complex, rent it, flip it, but make it a very homey, maybe some like plant gardens on the top of the roof or like a good communal space. I mean, I'd like to dabble in the business field, maybe make some type of product. I don't know. If I have the money and resources, I'm going to use that. I'm not just going to, hoard it away for cars and stuff.
Yeah. For cars.
For cars, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird with the cars thing. Like, I always thought I wanted a dope ass car. Like my dad, I'm very fortunate. My dad got me an RX-8. It's like this like mini sports car growing up. And it was super fun to drive, all that stuff. But then I realized I like camping. I like skiing. I like surfing.
Yeah.
All these things. And you can't do anything with a sports car. It's like super impractical. And I have this like mom SUV Subaru that I absolutely love.
I love it too.
Yeah, I know. It's like so practical. And I'm just like it's a simple car. And it does more than everything that I want it to do, and it's just like, I get so much joy from that. But like, I guess like we're programmed to like nice house, nice car, nice rings, nice jewelry. And like, it's weird how like society puts like a pressure on you to like have all these nice things, because like, I feel like you and me are super minimalistic in clothing brands. I want to get into this too. Demi's super into fashion. And how did you get into that? Because like, your fits are always on point, and like, they're always on point, but they're super minimalistic, and everything goes together. Like, you pull out anything from your closet, and it works.
Yeah.
And is that by design? Like,
I would say, I have more like of a capsule wardrobe, which is basically like you take very minimalistic pieces. When I go shopping for clothes, I look for basics because I know, that sparkly dress or skirt is amazing, but how many times am I going to wear that? Sure. And I kind of calculate it into the cost. And I do like supporting ethical brands as much as possible or fair trade brands.
What's fair trade?
So basically where the employees are getting paid a fair wage versus like, we don't know sometimes how many bucks they're, even if they're making dollars, who knows on the clothes that are being made. So I really love supporting that. So the smaller the wardrobe, the less waste for the environment, the more I wear those clothes. And I think I look good. I accessorize with jewelry and I'm good to go.
Yeah. It's weird because like you're one of my only friends who's, I guess, like a female who is super minimalistic in that sense.
Yeah.
Because there's I have so many like girlfriends who are just like, their closets are like so full and they don't wear 25% of their clothes or shoes. And I'm just like, it's kind of overwhelming when they talk about I was like, they don't wear any of that shit, Yeah. Yeah. What got you to that sense though? Like, that's not a normal girl thing to do.
I don't know. I feel like for me, it just kind of came naturally. I don't know, but ever since I was little, I loved giving things away. It was like my cousin one time was like, I love your bow. And I was like, take it. And I just gave it to her. I don't have a sentimental attachment to things. Like, oh, I wore this to this one party and I loved it. I look so good or whatever. Me, I'm like, do I use it every day or do I not? And that's kind of how my mentality has always been. But I think it transitioned from when I was little into clothing.
Why do you think that is?
I have sisters. When you have sisters and we're all around the same size, we share everything. Absolutely everything. You don't get sentimentally attached to one piece because guess what? She's going to take it from your closet without knowing and it's going to be gone forever. And you got to accept it. It's just kind of how it works.
Are you? Yeah, I never even thought about that. I guess I don't have a brother who I wear the same stuff or anything like that. I do like giving my old stuff away to like cousins and stuff.
Yeah, you're pretty minimalistic too. He's got to have some credit. Yeah.
Now, I every week or every month I try to get like rid of stuff. I go through my closet and like, I guess my whole point of that's like headspace, in terms of like, if I have a graphic tee, you can't wear that every week. People are gonna be like, dude, you wore that last week. But like, if you wear like a nice like shirt, a black shirt, button down or like whatever, no graphics on it, you could wear it every week and people are like, oh, like,
yes, people don't notice as much as we think, you know? We really assume that, oh my gosh, like they're gonna know I wore that shirt or jeans like 2 days ago. Like, people don't pay that much attention to us. They pay more attention to themselves, in my opinion. So to me, I'm like, I'm gonna wear what I want as long as it's clean and I look good. I don't care if I wore it 5 times this week, you know? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you're basically almost done with school.
Ooh, guys, June 14th, last day.
Is that exciting? You think you're done with school after this?
Until PA school, 100%. I might take a Spanish class to like spice it up. I really would love to learn a language, but I'm done with the hard classes.
Until PA school?
Yes.
So what's Demi most excited for right now in her life? Because like you're kind of basically almost done. I guess you're excited about that, but then the next big step's PA school and onto like your career and all that stuff. Like I guess right now, like what's Demi so amped up about?
What's the life for Demi? Well, once I get my first job, oh gosh, we haven't even talked about this. I'm going to become a phlebotomist, which are the people that draw your blood at the hospitals. If anyone does not know what that is.
We just got lunch earlier today, and she's like, "Hey, I am so good at sticking people," and I was like, "What does that mean?" So explain that.
Yeah, so a phlebotomist is basically when you need a blood test. It could be inpatient if someone's sick and from surgery, they need blood from you, or outpatient. You're healthy and you just need some blood drawn for the doctor to run some tests. I will be your person with the needle drawing your blood. Yeah. I will make it as comfortable as possible for you, but it is scary for a lot of people.
Do you like sing them songs and like massage their arm?
No, I haven't done that yet, but I did have a situation where a woman was very afraid of needles to the point of like hyperventilation. Yeah. And it was a really good experience to hold her hand, make sure she was okay, and get through that process. People have fears, and that's okay, but we've got to deal with them.
Yeah. What's your craziest like experience with like a patient?
That one would probably be the craziest experience with fear of needles, but I would say probably the craziest ones was going into like an inpatient setting where all these people are sick. They have multiple cancers, maybe just had a liver transplant and a heart transplant in the same like month. Yeah. These people, and it's just so weird to see all these people really struggling. Like in real life, you don't see people, not to put it like in a kind of a gruesome way, on their deathbed. Yeah. But you see that in an inpatient setting, especially in Los Angeles.
Does that fuck with you?
No, not necessarily, because I think that, I acknowledge that happens, and people get sick and life is unfair.
Yeah. A lot of, I don't know if I could do that. There's a lot of, like my uncle's an NP, a nurse practitioner. He deals with death all the time. I don't know if I could like see people like that all the time. I mean, I do acknowledge it. Life happens, cycle goes on, people die, people are born, but like just seeing like a person there and then they're gone like that, I don't know how that I would be affected by that.
I mean, yes, it's not built for everyone. That's why not everyone goes into the medical field. And that's fair. We don't need everyone in the medical field. We need people in other places.
Yeah. A lot of people I feel like are pressured to, though, especially like we're kind of like a middle generation in terms of like, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer. And like, I guess we're like, I don't know, we both grew up in a sort of Asian household. Like, I don't know how strict your parents were with that, but I guess our hometown was very like that. It's weird coming to LA and seeing like influencers and like, I guess like people making money in 1,000 different other ways. Yeah. Like, was that shocking to you at all? Or is that like have you experienced like, oh, like, wow, this is LA super cool in that aspect? Or I don't know about Santa Barbara. I've never lived there. Like, was that like eye opening for you?
Yeah. Moving to a different place other than Fresno, I think was such a good experience.
Yeah. And I would did you learn?
Well, it's not all societies are obviously the same. And like, just like Los Angeles, it is so diverse. It is so different. And there's so many go-getters out here. They all want to do something with their lives. They all want to make something, prove something. And that energy, you know, you talk a lot about being surrounded by energy and different people's energies really like influence you. It really influences me, and I'm sure you, to push yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Really? Does it, like living in LA, you feel that need to like just go get after what you want?
Yes. I feel
awesome.
It's kind of like you see it happening all around you, and because you get to see it in Fresno, maybe not as much. It still happens, but not as much.
Yeah, I thought about that. I didn't really know why I was out here, and I had a conversation with my roommate probably like a month ago, and he was writing his grad school apps. He got into USC, and he basically explained like why he was out here, and his reasoning was there's a lot of creative people out here, and you're not, I guess, like secluded. Like it's normal to chase your dreams or do certain things that are like out of the norm, versus I'll give you an example. Like if I'm at home hanging out with the boys in Fresno, like, and we're working out on something, and like I pull out my phone to, I don't know, do some like crazy workout, like 50% of the time it'd be like, yo, what the fuck you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You know, versus out here, everyone's like has a camera out, everyone's like trying to do certain things, you know, and it's just a totally different way of life. You know, like also I'm super into fitness and everything like that. Out here, you'll see so many people running, so many people doing all this fitness stuff. And like California or United States is known as like a lot of people are overweight, not healthy. And LA, there's the prettiest, healthiest people out here. And by osmosis, you're just going to get pretty and fit, in my opinion.
It's true. Yeah, like in Santa Barbara, a good example is everyone bikes. If you don't live in Santa Barbara, everyone has a bike. And guess what? That was my workout for the day, 2 miles to school, 2 miles back. It was great. And honestly, everyone was pretty healthy. We loved acai bowls. We loved going to the beach and swimming and
it's
surfing.
Weird. So Demi makes like some fire avocado toast we had.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to like avocado toast. And like, I never really had it until like at the restaurant, there's a lot of people who order avocado toast, and I would just give them the biggest shit for it. Then Demi came over and she made me some avocado toast, and I was like, damn, this shit's fire. It slaps.
Guys, the secret to a good avocado toast. I'm going to fill you in.
Yeah, fill in the pesto. Come on, let's go.
Well, you already told it.
Oh.
It's pesto, if you didn't know.
So how do you make your avocado toast?
Okay, you got sourdough bread. Then you got your pesto, then your avocado, and then you got to slap on that sunny side up or like
Wait, no,
Easy
don't you?
A.
What do you mix the avocado with? There's a certain. What was it? Was it turmeric?
No, it's it's some type of like, I think it's from Colombia.
It's some powder.
Yeah, it's basically just a mixture of like onions. I would go with like a mixture of onions, garlic, pepper and stuff. It's so delicious. Yes.
Yeah. What's your like diet like?
It's adobo.
That's what it is.
If anyone's wondering, it's adobo. Look at Sprouts. That's where I got mine.
What's your diet like right now? In terms of like, I don't know, do you try to eat healthy?
Yeah, I feel like all my life I've eaten relatively healthy. Yeah. I mean, did I have Ben & Jerry's ice cream last night? Maybe.
Yeah.
But
what's your favorite flavor?
The Tonight Dough.
I've never had it.
Well, you should try it. It's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Do you have any vices? Yeah, I've always wondered about that because, like, I look at you and you're, in my opinion, I always like, Demi's on top of her shit. Like, I feel like she doesn't really have any vices. Like, she's just like awesome in everything she does. Like, this is how I've seen you like through community college. Because like, Demi was always on top of her shit in community college, and I was always like, oh, I need to be more like Demi. like for like 2 years straight. Like, I was like, Demi's studying, I gotta study. Demi's doing this, I gotta do this. Demi, you know?
Yeah. I know this. This is my vice. I need to learn how to have more fun.
Okay.
Do I choose studying and getting things practical done 100% over
kind of that work-life balance type of deal?
Yes, I need to balance it a little bit better. I've been good. I'm hanging out with you. I've been hanging out with some friends. But yeah, I think for me, it's more of that enjoyment of life, not just the structure that society kind of tells us to do.
Yeah. Do you think sometimes that you just like are so into your work that you don't get to enjoy certain things?
100%. Have I turned down trips with people? Have I, turned down job opportunities and summer programs because I was worried about school? 100%. Yeah. So I do need to work on that, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what would I guess like what would you change to do that?
I think I've been getting a little bit better. My biggest thing is realizing that not every minute of the day can be filled with studying. And when your brain is tapped out, there's no point of just staring at the book any longer to try to learn. Go to sleep earlier, do some meditation, go to the gym. It will help you not only physically, mentally, but like it will help with your studies too to take that mental break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at working out. So me and Demi did front squats today, and she's never done them, and she picked them up with like in a second. It's super athletic movement. Like, have you always been working out? Like, what's your background in working out in terms of that aspect? Because you're very self-aware of your body, and like I was very impressed today, genuinely.
All right, we started out in 4th grade with cross country. Was I the fastest runner in 4th grade? Hell to the yeah.
Yeah,
really?
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, like guys, I was a fast and furious little 4th grader.
We got Roadrunner over here.
But I think it stems from my competitiveness. Then I went into gymnastics, then into cheerleading. I did a little bit of diving here.
You were a flyer, right?
I was a flyer. The people in the air.
How was that?
I loved it.
I thought it was super scary.
Yeah, I almost died one time, and that was a little terrifying. But other than that,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure, that's definitely terrifying. Yeah. How did you almost die?
Basically, we were up in a stunt, and something went wrong. I don't know kind of what it was.
Yeah.
And I ended up tipping over everyone's hands because I was standing on their hands, and I tipped over, and I was really high up. And I landed like on my shoulder on the ground, and it's hard. It's like a hard mat, not a squishy mat. Damn. So if I had tipped a little bit over, it would have been my neck. Yeah. So yeah, that wasn't. And we got a video of it. It was I
don't want to see it.
No, I don't want to see it.
Do you think I guess cheerleading, gymnastics, and running, like that sports mentality like affected like I guess like how you go about school, go about life in general, that competitiveness energy? And yeah, does it stem from sports back then because you were so competitive in that sense? Or did it just come from, I want to be the best because I want to prove that my mental state and my disorders don't define who I am?
It's all stems from my learning disability.
Really?
It's kind of sad to admit, but I remember.
It's not sad at all.
No, it is, because the reason when I first started school in 4th grade, I remember we used to have these ribbons. So anyone that got over a certain GPA would go up on stage and get like a blue ribbon or a white ribbon, and I was the only kid in my class that didn't get any ribbon, 0 ribbon. Okay. And I think that's for like a C or something, for the white ribbon. And I remember sitting there, and at that moment in my mind, I was like, I cannot be like this. Like, I cannot be the only child that doesn't have like a ribbon. And so I swear after that situation, I was just like, you gotta go hard at everything you do. I don't know why, but that was just like a thing, and it's stuck in my mind literally.
So nothing to do with sports. It's just all
absolutely nothing to do with sports. I just wanted to be good at whatever I did. Yeah.
That's like my biggest I agree with you in that sense too. Like I truly believe if you decide to do something, you have to be really good at it. You know, there's a competence hierarchy in the sense of like, I don't know, this is a weird example, but if you own a house and like you have sewage problems, you want to hire the best plumber, right? You're not going to hire the dude with 1 star. Yeah. You know, if you want to be a PA, you're not going to hire the PA with 1 star. Yeah. You're going to hire the PA who has 5 stars. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people, in my opinion, just like want to be a certain thing, but like it's important to be the best at it. It's important to be good at it, because if you're not, it's like, why do it? Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with that. I think that you should go full throttle. If you're passionate about it, do it. Yeah. Don't just half-ass it. Do it. You know? Yeah. So what do you're moving back to Fresno soon, huh? Yes, I am. Is that sad? What do you like, or is that like like 1 step back to 10 steps forward type of deal? I think the latter. The situation is obviously not what I want. I'm gonna miss you.
Oh, I miss you too. I mean, honestly, I'm such a hermit. He'll probably see
I
me
haven't
the
seen
same
you in
amount.
6 months.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
he'll probably see me the exact same amount.
Yeah, isn't it weird like that? I don't know. I feel like time's been flying by like crazy. Like I feel like COVID just like made my concept of time like not there.
Yeah.
You know.
COVID really, yeah.
How did
time.
COVID affect you in terms of like school, in terms of like mental health and all that stuff?
I mean, it was pretty rough, but I feel like it wasn't just me; it was everyone.
Everybody,
you
yeah,
know?
for sure.
It wasn't a normal situation that we had to deal with, and it definitely took a toll on me mentally. And I think that I had a lot of revelations where I was
What's
like,
what's a revelation? I want to know some epiphanies that Demi's had.
all right, well, if we're gonna get real raw and like,
Let's hit it. I like it
okay,
raw.
All right,
let's go. I didn't mean it that way.
I know
Go
you
ahead.
did. It's fine. But basically, a few weeks ago, I was in my little area, like my place I live in Los Angeles, and I was booked up to the max with school assignments, homework, my phlebotomy clinicals, and I just lost it. I just absolutely started having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And then I had a clinical the next day, and I stayed up the entire night just thinking.
Sure.
Did not sleep a wink.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Demi, what do you want for yourself in the next 6 months? I don't care about any of the extra stuff. What is your goal?
Yeah.
And my 2 goals was to finish my classes and move out of the situation I'm living in right now. And then I said, okay, well then how are you going to do that the quickest and most successfully you can? And my answer was to go back home for a little bit. And to me at first it was like, no, you can't do that. That's failing. You know, like that's not the way to do it. But who says that's failure?
Yeah.
You know, you are saying that that's failure. I don't think that's failure. I think that's helping me step up to somewhere I couldn't get as fast if I was staying in the situation I am.
Yeah.
So
No, 100%.
Yeah. So
feel
I
like,
think.
Go ahead.
I think that it's the right move for me right now.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people out there, I don't know, for example, like a lot of people get like a big paycheck. They're like, oh, I need a bigger house, a bigger car, all this stuff. They get in like loads of debt, and they're like,
Oh, I can't go back to an apartment because that doesn't look good on me objectively and all that stuff. But it's honestly probably the best move for you.
It is the best
You know,
move.
for you, like, you're like, objectively, me going back is a perfect step in the right direction of where I want to go.
Yes.
You know, and I don't think people do that enough. Like I feel like they just feel like they have to step up that social ladder every single time, when the best step is like 2 steps down to go exponentially forward.
Yeah.
You know, so that's super admirable that you're doing that.
Well, thank you. I feel like it kind of like, no, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I think for honestly like 6 to 8 months I've been in the same situation, and it took me that long to
Yeah.
realize what I needed to do.
Yeah,
so it didn't come easily.
Demi lives in the back house of her grandma's place.
Yeah, it's
and-
beautiful. It's just a little small for me.
Yeah, no kitchen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it, but she's a trooper. She makes her avocado toast. Her grandma's dope. Is dope.
Yeah, she is.
Her grandma's been doing nails for how long?
Oh my gosh, since she moved to America.
Yeah, and she just like makes bank doing nails. Like it was one of like my epiphanies when I first moved to LA and we hung out, and I was like, it was her. One of my clients does like hair for like Rita Ora, all this stuff like that, and they make so much money doing nails and hair, like an unreal amount. And it was one of my first epiphanies. I don't think I ever told you this when you were talking about it, and you were telling me about your grandma. I was like, damn, if you're really passionate about anything and like you're super into it, you can make a living out of it.
100%.
And yeah, I don't think I told you that. I was
No,
like,
you
when we
didn't.
had the conversation, I was like, damn, all right, we're doing it. We're doing it. And it's weird because like since that time, I don't know when we had that conversation. It was probably like 2 years ago or something like that. I've, yeah, personal training and like bartending, all the things that I've done. I'm just like, yo, I'm kind of making a living out of it.
I know. And also, we got to give Nate credit because I remember him having a conversation about
Yeah.
how he wanted to start a podcast.
I know, yeah. It took me
Yeah.
the longest time. And like I think it's the same thing with you too. Like I think that you always wanted to do something in the medical field later on, and you're doing it now. Like you're like, oh, here it is. And it's super admirable in the sense of like we both said that we were going to do these certain things, and now we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if everyone did what they said they were going to do, the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
And like versus like just like complaining about a lot of things. And yeah, so I appreciate you and everything that you do.
Oh, that's so nice.
You want to talk about anything else? I think we could talk about other things. What else?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think that was pretty good.
Okay.
Alrighty, folks. This is Demi Fujino. We'll talk to her when she's a PA.
Oh, yes. You'll hear from me again,
In a couple
folks.
years. And hopefully she has like a baking show. And you guys got to taste her like baking stuff. It's very good.
I am going to open a bakery when I'm old.
You said you were going to start an Instagram and stuff. Like, you've been talking about that. So I'm going to keep you to that.
Okay.
Deal?
We'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. Demi Fujino.
Woo!